opiate addiction has claimed a fairly high number. You know, there's a lot of people who literally got married to other people we went to high school with, and they now have like a bunch of children and they live in the town that we grew up in with their bunch of children. You know, so it's wildly different. And then people like who I went to Montessori school with, they're all freaking like, you know, let's see. Some of them have like more mundane software type jobs, but a lot of them like one she lives on like a bio organic farm. You know, another one is like legitimately like a traveling geologist who I don't think that he's had the same place to live in for more than 5 days at a clip for the past 15 years. I'm a stay at home, but the nanny raises the kids. Yeah, Nick, it's wild. Having been a nanny for some of those families while I was in college, like, really freaked me out. Cause, like, you know, I can say many things about my parents, you know, and them not really having been around much when I was a kid. Like, but they were like always at work. Like, both of my parents were dead ass workaholics, you know, for their entire career. So, like, you know, they were always working when they weren't around, right? I wish I had a nanny so I didn't feel like a stay at home mom and also a full time employee. If I were actually just a woman who didn't need to work and I had a nanny, I'd call myself a kept woman. Lol. I know, right? But yeah, no, that's tough. That's very tough that, you know, uh, you're in the position of having to do the at home mom responsibilities on top of working from home. It's totally not fair at all. There's a couple of people who are like, marry old classmate, years go by, split up, marry another old classmate, rinse and repeat. Lulu, I actually saw that happen for the first time recently. I think it's because I'm a couple years younger than you. So it was literally just like one of the girls who I went to high school with, right? She was like very cheerleader type. She literally married her like high school boyfriend, football player, and they had like 3 children like immediately. And then, you know, every single post of theirs on social media was, I love my husband so much, my husband, my wife, my husband, my wife, my kids, everything's perfect. And then literally the next post, guess what? We've actually gotten divorced and I'm marrying this other classmate, the baseball player. And I was just like, oh, wow, okay. I'm pretty much happy not seeing anyone ever I went to school with. Yeah, Lou, legitimately, people were so funny. I saw one of my old classmates for Trash Cat's birthday, cuz one of our old classmates, again, I was the overachiever who was in a year ahead in the French class when I came back to public school. So I was in Trash Cat's French class, and one of our classmates in our French class was another girl who was, you know, a year ahead of me. And she was at Trash Cat's birthday party, and we were talking about the public high school that the three of us went to. And, like, she was like, oh, yeah, the two of them were talking about going to their 20th reunion. And they were like, wait a minute, when is your 20th reunion? Wouldn't it be this year? I'm like, oh, yeah, it technically happened in November, but I didn't go. And they were like, why not? And I was like, because I didn't want to see anybody. The only person pretty much from my public high school that I would care to see is Trash Cat, pretty much. And I see her plenty. Imagine marrying a person who knew you were before you were an adult. See, Nick, I can't say that because Mark, I literally met Mark when he was 17 and I was 18. But no, I know what you mean though. Who you haven't seen since you were a kid, right? I met my husband at 16, but I couldn't stand him. I met my husband when I was 20 and he was 19, and our 10-year anniversary is this year. That's adorable, Nick. I love that. I do. But yeah, no, I just think that for a lot of people, it's because they can't let go of high school. And like for them, it still is like the glory days. For me, I'm like, no. High school wasn't glory days. College was also not glory days. I would argue that things like, and again, I don't want to be like doom and gloom, but like I did not anticipate being the age that I am now. We'll put it that way. The fact that I did not join the 27 club was a shock to me. Um, I had always had sort of, vague placeholder plans for the future, but my, you know, depression was as such that, um, you know, I very much struggled to meaningfully plot for long into the future without thinking about not being around until I was in my early 30s, which is, wild, to say. But once I came out of the closet